Well, I'm just so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. EA decided to say no to me and didn't let me actually load up the game for about 30 minutes. Didn't let me load up the game at all. I've restarted it, my Xbox, twice, didn't work, and all of a sudden it's just decided that it does want to let me in the game. So we're in here, we're in RWSRL, of course, and let's hope today Singapore is going to be an equally as entertaining race as we saw last time in Zandvoort. And speaking of Zandvoort, last time the winner of that Grand Prix was Depth Knights and won by a substantial amount. It was a fantastic race from then. Can they do another brilliant Grand Prix today? Another masterclass? We will have to see. But we're in qualifying here. We're 7 minutes left in qualifying, and so far, as you can see to your left-hand side, that is what has happened so far in this qualifying session. Let's hope that this is going to be as equally as entertaining, like I said again, at Zandvoort. And James Kalako on his actual lap here. Here's a little fun fact for you all. This is the first ever race slash track, really, I have ever commentated on. So, throwbacks for me here in Singapore when I first ever had my first commentary session in the history of my commentary career. Let's hope that it's going to be equally as entertaining as my first ever race round here. And James Kalako right now, as we see in McLaren going through each and every track. You see Depth Knights there, the man who won last race in P3. Just slips in there. Weeksy and DJ Flux on Mercedes. 1-2 shades of what happened in real life in 2019. Is it going to just implement itself right here, right now? Aussie is on his actual lap time. He's had a bit of struggle here around Singapore. It is a very difficult track to master. But will he master it on this lap? He really has to overqualify his championship rival Weeksy, as those two only have a 6-point difference for the top of the leaderboard, basically. So much drama is going to happen between the two to who is actually going to get P1 in the standings tonight. Weeksy had an opportunity to do it at Zandvoort. He wasn't able to, but he's got a second chance here at Singapore to be able to do so. And if he does, then of course it's going to be good for him going into some of the last races of the season. Aussie, though, he's looking to defend technically pole in standings, but you know what I mean, P1 in the standings. He's looking to protect that, and is he going to protect it here in this qualifying session? We can see that Alpine right there going slow. Purple second sector for the Aston Martin. Great stuff from Aussie, and this could be an astounding lap. Really could add a little bit of drama to the end of this qualifying session. Can he overqualify his championship rival Weeksy here at the death? It would just be what he needs, as now he is manoeuvring himself around the last 3 turns. Around the last one. What is Mr. Aussie going to claim here? What's he going to inherit? It's P2! He has overqualified Weeksy! That is just what he needs. And it's what he got. Weeksy abandoning this lap. Aussie is overqualified. Flux in the pits. Weeksy will meet his teammate very shortly. Aussie, though, has overqualified his championship rival. That's huge going into this. Well, it is just so huge when you overqualify your... Oh my, look at that. Anthony with the purple second sector. Will Anthony put in a little bit of a shock here in qualifying? The AlphaTauri hasn't really had the best of qualifying sessions so far, but he could have a really good end to this, as he had a purple second sector. Is he going to get a purple third sector, which would give him a very big chance at getting... Oh, never mind. Instantly just gone. Slips away from him, remixed with a red lap, and you can see James there, purple second sector, there for him. So James in the Alpine, maybe that purple second sector isn't as fast as maybe it should be, and just people are overqualifying it way too much. But James, nevertheless, has really got something to work for here. This pole position could be at the hands to play with for James there. Oh, but another mistake at the same exact turn. He's into the wall. And, well, it's not going to be good for him, of course. And you can see Aussie coming into the pits. Weeksy still into the pits in the last few minutes here in qualifying. Is that him who's coming out of the pits? No, it's his teammate DJ Flux, I believe. No, that is Weeksy. So, Weeksy here. Has he come out ahead of Aussie? Aussie's just coming into the pits. So, this is huge for Weeksy. If he can get back at Aussie, it's practically one shot here. You've got one chance, Weeksy. Make the most of it. He's really got to try and overqualify Aussie here. It would be huge if he could. So he's got the DRS, of course. This is on his out lap. And my full attention will turn to him once that is done and dusted. Depth Knights with a invalid lap time. We have been seeing a lot of these invalid lap times constantly being thrown around each and every driver so far when they try and maneuver around this such difficult track, which includes 21 hard, suckingly tight turns, which will really establish what is the difference between the great drivers to the best drivers here in RWSRL. And you can see Codfish there, not going to be happy with his qualifying session. He's got a loss of his front wing. And DJ Flux here, now you can see Weeksy. He's going to be starting his lap quite soon here. The Mercedes, can he get back that 1-2 that, Flux and Weeksy did share amongst themselves? He will be looking to claim that P1, P2 back going into this race. Would be huge for them constructors-wise. Speaking of constructors-wise, Mercedes aren't actually that far up the order. They are only a measly 4th. Fourth isn't bad, but compared to Aston Martin, who are first, of course, which does involve Aussie himself there. So, Weeksy hitting the wall. Weeksy hitting the wall. Is that a loss of a bit of a wing? No, luckily for him, it's not. But Weeksy, what is he going to set here in qualifying? Oh, it's invalid! It's invalid! Oh, no! Weeksy has invalid his lap time. And that calls for potentially Aussie to get his first pole position for this season. He's yet to ever get a pole position here for this season in RWSRL. Will he get one tonight? Would be huge if he could. Flux also on his actual lap. He makes a spin. All eyes on Aussie to see if he can overqualify. Well, he already has overqualified, but will he overqualify Flux? It would be huge if he will. Aussie. Here we go. This is a big one. He's already overqualified his championship rival, but he needs to do it to his rival's teammate. Flux is in Sector 2. Aussie in Sector 1. Flux, come the end of this qualifying session, are they going to improve on this time? It's a battle between DJ and Aussie for pole position here in Singapore. Here, sorry, down in Marina Bay. And you can see there DJ Flux really not having a good lap time. Look at your top right, that's a plus 400/10ths, that's a plus 300/10ths for Aussie. Second sector, it really isn't where these lads shine at, and you can see Flux is way off his time and way off into the wall. Aussie, though, he's still within his time. He's going to have to improve about 500 milliseconds if he really wants a fighting chance here at P1 pole position going into Singapore. Oh, that's a big slip. A big slip, and DRS disabled. Oh, my word. Flux spinning across the line. Like he was already celebrating the pole position. Calm down, Flux. You've got to actually get across the line. There you go. Flux across the line in a emphatic fashion. In a happy fashion, I should say. Really, for the Mercedes. But nevertheless, he is across the line. And unless Aussie can stir up something magical. I don't think he's going to get that pole position here. And as you can see on your top right, it's definitely not going to be pole for Ozzy. But a Mercedes is on pole. And if you asked me who would be on pole whilst they were driving a Mercedes, I would be telling you Weeksy. But no, it's his teammate DJ who is on pole for Singapore. So there you go then. There is all of the drivers who set their lap times out today. Well, the only two that actually didn't was James and Ink, and also Cyclone. Ink, by the way, I think is third in the championship as well. No, fifth, actually. Ink is fifth in the championship, so not really what I'd be expecting to see from the man in the Red Bull. Speaking of Red Bull themselves, they are also second in the championship. So Ink having a very good season as well as Depth Knights, but out of the two Red Bulls, Depth Knights is the only one that actually was able to actually set their lap time. So, what's going to happen here in Singapore? It's only live once here in RWSRL, and it's always live on Twitch. So everybody, we anticipate what is going to be surely another entertaining race in RWSRL, which is not uncommon to say. It is something that has often been passed around through commentators who have come and go here in RWSRL, and surely we're going to see another one today. So, what's going to happen in this Singapore Grand Prix? We will have to see. Entertainment will be brought very shortly to you here on Twitch, and if you're not following us already and you're seeing us for the first time, make sure to follow us as soon as you can, because why would you want to miss these? Every single week and weekends, always brought to you live. It's just things you want to watch. Three, two, and one. Here we go then. The formation lap first, but then comes the start of what is going to be a blistering race. Let's be honest. It's going to be an absolutely lovely race here, and this man is going to lead it. DJ Flux is the one leading today's Singapore Grand Prix in Marina Bay. He is starting on the hard tyres, so is Ozzy, and so is Weeksy. So all of those top three will be starting on the same strategy. But the question is, who is going to execute it the best? That is what's going to get them the points, and that is what's going to get them the win. Mr. DJ Flux here, pole position, a great showcase from him. I'm not too sure if he's actually ever had a pole position before this season. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure no, because when I looked at the standings, I saw Depth Knights had the most pole positions, but DJ Flux, I think, might have had only one or two. So this is a bit of a rare sighting for DJ Flux. Pole position here in Singapore, but he's going to try and make the most of it, and I'm sure he will, to be honest, with his teammate Weeksy behind. Are these two going to pair up and potentially get Weeksy ahead of Ozzy, which would put him into some emphatic points? It, of course, wouldn't mean that he would go to the top of the leaderboard in the standings. He would actually have to be P1 to do that if Ozzy is to stay put in P2. Well, actually, he would be P3 if Weeksy overtakes Ozzy, of course. So, if Weeksy overtakes Ozzy and then he goes on to get P1 and Ozzy stays P3 and DJ Flux stays P2, then that would mean that Weeksy would go top of the standings. But the question is, will he? Yeah, sorry, I was just doing maths in my head right there. Sorry, I left you silent for a little bit. But I did my mathematics in my head, but that would put Week C top of the leaderboard by only a singular point, which showcases the talent between these two drivers and what they have to offer here in RWSRL and what they will offer come the end of this season. Entertaining championship battle, a race which could decide the championship standings in a big way. DJ Flux, disqualified from the session. That ain't going to be good for the Mercedes, for the Merc. He's going to start the furthest back he can on the grid. But is he going to keep P1? 5 red lights. Green light, go, go, go. Here today in the Singapore Grand Prix, is DJ Flux going to keep his P1? There's Weeksy instantly getting the overtake on Ozzy himself. On the inside, Weeksy, around the outside, Weeksy looked to go, and he was able to get the move done and dusted, and now he's pulling away from the Aston Martin Entertainment. Looking behind there, Megan and James Kalaka going side by side. What can James do against this Alfa Romeo? I think some spins we've just seen at the back there. Remix not having a good start. They're all the way at the back of the grid. These two, though, still side by side. James Kalako and Megan still side by side. A switchback maneuver for Megan. I'm pretty sure they'll get the move done. No. James Kalako still defending to the best he can and still trying to keep this Alfa Romeo behind. But is he going to be able to do that come the latter stages of this Grand Prix? These two already showcasing what will surely be an emphatic fight for P6. We'll have to see how that shapes out for the rest of this Grand Prix here. So much entertainment instantly off the start. We saw Weeksy fly up into P2. Literally on the right-hand side and went round the outside into the first turn. Depth Knight's getting very close to Aussie, by the way. Speaking of Aussie, of course, slipping down into P3. Not the ideal situation for the Aston Martin, but I'm pretty sure he'll come fighting back for P2 very soon. I'm assuming that DJ Flux will let Weeksy go come the latter stages of this, because he is much further down the championship standings than Weeksy, and that will be just an opportunity to give Weeksy some very necessary points, which would put him P1 in the driver's standings. Callum looking to get on the back of Depth Knights here, so we're going to go on board with him onto the straight, into the first turn. Is he going to get P4? He won't. He has to stay behind. Not in any position to try and go for a dive. I've said that many times before, but sometimes the drivers just be a little bit too keen and they dive on the inside. So we'll see if anybody's too keen tonight and might ruin their races. It would be a crash and burn for those two for that driver, but nevertheless, the outcome of that situation would be their entire fault. As you can see, Chris Dante getting very close to Megan, looking to go down the inside into the next turn here. A very sharp turn like there always are here in Singapore. Megan instantly defensive, instantly in the wall. Megan slips down to positions. Callum looks for the move. He's slipping down the order. And there is a safety car out here in Singapore. I don't think it's a full course. It is not. But my oh my, just a little bit too much there. Megan was trying desperately to keep that position. He couldn't keep it. Sorry, she couldn't keep it. Was into the wall. I think it was Chris Downs. Yeah, it was Chris Downs there. Chris Downs got overtaken by Callum then, didn't he? Because Callum was behind him. I'm just looking on my screen right now, back at the Twitch. So Callum up into P5. Kalako in P6 still. It is a VSC, so it's not full course. But Megan, not a good start to this Singapore Grand Prix for them. Loss of the front wing, of course, they will come in at the end of this lap. So, yeah, a crash and burn for the start of their Grand Prix. But this man is flying. DJ Flux in the Merc. Just things you want to see here. DRS is enabled, so we are going ahead. We're starting once again here in Singapore. Here onto the straight. What's Ink going to do here? He's looking to get round Codfish down the inside. He's looking to go there into the first turn. Bit of tyre connection, which forces the Ferrari to go off track and cuts the track and is able to rejoin ahead. The AlphaTauri of Anthony there just lurking behind, looking for any opportunity he has to try and get the overtake very soon. Depth Knight's getting extremely close here to Aussie. Aussie looking to defend. Inkstar looking looking for the overtake very soon here, or looking to defend actually. Here's Codfish looking to keep the position into the next turn, isn't able to do so. The Red Bull gets past the Ferrari slipping down. Will he slip down another one here, as now the Alpine looking to dive down the inside. Is he going to be able to get the move done? James now round the outside into the next turn. The Ferrari still on the inside, and they touch the wall there, the Alpine. Is that a loss of the front wing? It is not. They are flying high there, and it's, another overtake by Anthony. So one Quadfish has just dropped out, I think 4 positions here midway through a lap. Not what the Ferrari needs, but it's what the Ferrari got. Here's Aussie now. He's looking to make the move here on Weeksy. This would be huge for a battle for the top flight. There goes Death Knight with the overtake on Aussie. So the battle there, and Death Knight was able to the opportunist. Now he's looking for a move on Weeksy. Double overtake for Death Knight. Is he going to be able to do it? He's passed them both. He's passed them both. Down the inside, Aussie looks to go on Weeksy. He gets the move done. He gets the move done. Weeksy drops down 2 positions. Death Knight goes up 2 positions. What a start here in Singapore. Absolutely world class from the Red Bull. Flying high there behind the steering wheel. P2, and they're hunting down for P1. What on earth did we just see? Death Knight, ever the opportunist, got the overtake as soon as he could on Aussie, but then from Aussie to Weeksy, it was done and dust, and then behind Death Knights, we saw Weeksy and Aussie go at it, and Aussie was able to go on the inside, and Weeksy had to back out of the situation, otherwise it could have been deadly for him. But is it going to be deadly for him here? Round the outside, Callum's looking to go on Weeksy, the Merc looking to defend, switchback maneuver here by the Ferrari, these two touching each other. Are they going to be able to keep it clean? They are down the net into the next turn. Weeksy, still they're just about ahead. Now the Ferrari is Callum on the straight. Has he got the better speed? No, he hasn't. Weeksy has into the next one. Weeksy round the outside. Ferrari on the inside. He's got the overtake. Callum up into P4. Weeksy slipping down to P5. This has not been a good race for Weeksy so far. I mean, he got P2 early on. We were all thinking, oh my, what stuff for him. It's just what he needed. But now this is definitely not what he needs. Anthony, by the way, slipping down the order. Let's go to him. Let's see what he's done. Into the wall. Is that going to be a VSC? I don't think it is. Or it hits the wall as well while spinning around. On the bridge as well. That's really not the best of places to lose your front wing. But he has lost it there. And he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. I mean, I'm assuming anyways. It would be kind of stupid if he didn't pit at the end of this lap. And, well, JS Kalakum now with the sighting of Weeksy ahead. Maybe he'll get the overtake quite soon. Death Knights with the fastest lap, by the way. That gap between Death Knights and DJ Flux has really deteriorated through these last few laps. Death Knights showing off yet again extreme pace here in another track. Here's Remix. He's looking to get the overtake on Harry. Harry is ghosting there, so we won't pay much attention to it, but still though, Weeksy slacking behind. He's really got to try and hunt down to Callum ahead. Is he going to be able to get back at the Ferrari, or is he just going to slip behind? We will have to see. Of course, Remix trying to get past the ghosted Harry, and he does eventually. So Remix past the ghost of Harry, and I think his teammate Cyclone will follow suit, and indeed he does. Maybe not. Into the next. Okay, no, he has. Definitely has. So there's Cyclone with the overtake there. And, well, you can see that turned from 1.7, the gap towards the top. It's come down to 1.5. Death Knight with, yet again, extreme pace around another really difficult track. He got some extreme pace at Zandvoort. He's got it again in Singapore, and I'm sure he'll make the most of it. Is now he's literally, look at that gap at the top. Surely the overtake will come soon for Death Knights. The speed he has in that Red Bull is actually frightening. Megan, by the way, you know, the person who went into the wall, lost his front wing, or lost her front wing, I apologise, and had to pit. Well, they're looking to get an overtake on Codfish here. They're getting very close, and we will see later on. I mean, oh my God, look at the gap at the top. DJ, DJ, you really need to speed up, because Death Knight is lurking behind. Well, Silver currently spreading across the whole grid, announcing that they are currently fastest in this Grand Prix, but the Red Bull surely are going to poke the horns of their bull up there into P1. Eventually, I'm sure they'll get their car past, and I think Depth Knights will be looking for the move very soon here on DJ Flux, unless he messes it up. I'm pretty sure Depth Knights is A, going to get the overtake on DJ, and B, going to get the victory here in Singapore. Just the amount of speed that is on this man is frightening. Cyclone with an overtake on Remix. That's the two Williams going at it with each other, and eventually Cyclone comes out on top here. And still, just look at the gap between these two. Still so incredibly close. Depth Knights and Flux both looking to go at it with each other. Weeksy, by the way, also slacking behind some more there. That went from a 800 millisecond gap to a 1.5 millisecond gap. You can see Megan looking for the move finally on Codfish. Codfish went extremely wide into that turn, and Megan was able to capitalize on it and was able to get the overtake. Yet again, though, Flux just trying to do the best he can to try and defend against Depth Knights here. I'm sure onto this straight, Depth Knights is going to get the speed here on the Mercedes. Is now into the next turn. It's just because of those medium tyres. It's really working out for Depth Knights. It is on the straight. He can look for the move. No, he can't really into that turn. That would be detrimental to his Grand Prix, to his race. So he has to stay behind. And maybe in this lap he'll search for a move. Maybe he'll look for that one tiny gap, which will force his way up into P1 and potentially to the end of this race. I will be saying that DJ Flux, unfortunately, in P2, and fortunately for Depth Knights, up into P1 and wins the Grand Prix. Maybe I'll say that at the end of the race, or maybe, just maybe, DJ will keep this raging Red Bull behind, but it doesn't look likely. Depth Knights still on the just looking at that gearbox of Flux, patiently awaiting its turn, like queuing up to try and tee up into P1, just waiting for the one opportunity. I mean, he waited for so long to try and get an opportunity on Weeksy, but then he got the opportunity on Aussie in the exact same moment. He's got DRS here. He's closing up on DJ just a little bit. We can hear him going off the throttle, braking early on purpose, I believe. And now onto this straight. Still, though, looking to try and get past DJ Flux. Still isn't able to. Is he going to get it very soon? Just look at the pace he has. Just really entertaining here. Just trying to hunt down DJ at every chance he gets. Will the music of DJ make sure to pound Depth away? Or is just the depth of Depth Knight's skill just going to reign supreme here on DJ Flux? Is now on to the straight. Still, though, DJ still staying ahead, is not letting that Red Bull get past. But is James Galacco going to get past Weeksy? Chris Downs with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I will put up the penalties right there for you. Oh, I've just made a mistake. Apologies. Oh, into the wall Weeksy goes! Not only have I made a mistake, but so has Weeksy! Weeksy into the wall. Weeksy in P8. My oh my, it's just what the Mercedes did not need. It's just what Aussie needed. And now, surely Aussie is going to gap himself up to the leaderboard. Huge mistake by Weeksy. Huge fortune for Aussie. Inkstar now really trying to hunt down James Galacco. The battle resumes with another Red Bull to a car up front, and yet again, just still that Red Bull staying behind, and the gap is quite literally the same between Inkstar and James Galacco with Depth Knights and DJ Flux. It's literally the same. So we'll see how that works out between the two there. Still, though, nothing happening between those two, but these two still going at it between each other. Something's happening. I think Cyclone's made a mistake. It's going really slow there. I think a big mistake from the Williams, and eventually they slip down a position. But will DJ slip down a position now? Onto this straight. Still Depth Knights has the speed. He has the DRS. He has the slipstream. Will he look for the move? He can't look for the move. Surely not into that first turn. First turn is such a difficult one to try and master. Not only for overtaking, but also for just manoeuvring around. So it's very interesting to see who will try and go for some overtakes there, as it's going to be extremely difficult for those who try to actually get. Well, you see, just DJ and Depth Knights just kind of meeting within each other in terms of pace. Cyclone coming into the pits here very early on in this Grand Prix. Is Weeksy coming into the pits? I thought they actually had a bit of wing damage, but it appears not to be. Ink, though, getting on the back of James Kalako here. He's sniffing down this McLaren, and I'm sure very soon he'll get the overtake done as Inkstar, the Red Bull, looking to try and manoeuvre himself around the orange tint of McLaren. But he still is going to just stay in P6, still trying to hunt down James Kalako for P5. They're getting very close now. You can just see that time deteriorating, and maybe it'll fall down to just enough time to when it can actually go for the overtake, and I think he'll go for it here, as now here we go, the Red Bull looking to go on the inside here of the McLaren. They're getting very slow into that corner, making sure to not make any connection between the two, otherwise it would be catastrophic to both of their races, and I think Ink isn't going to let the opportunity go away there, as McLaren looking to go round the outside of Red Bull. Once again here, these two battling it out, making sure that this P5 is like a P1 to them, and I think James Kalako's just got the re-overtake done and dusted with, but he's in the wall! But he's in the wall! And Ink is able to get the free overtake, free position. James Kalako slipping and slipping down. Weeksy get a free spot as well, making it just a bit easier for him to climb up the order. But James Kalako with a huge mistake, and Ink is able to capitalise. Well, look at that gap now between Knights and Flux. Just still nothing really now for Depth Knights to really go on with. No DRS, no nothing. Ink is just... Flux is just the better driver at the moment. Is that to do with the tyres? I'm not too sure, because I don't think tyre wear is actually going to be that important, to be honest. It's only, 9-lap mediums against 9-lap hards. So it shouldn't really make that much of a difference, but if it does, then, well, it could be a big one, which could lead to potentially Depth Knights just staying in P2, and with, that was a bit of a mistake there from Depth Knights, just going very wide into that turn, but Flux, I believe, is just about going to keep this P1 for at least a few more laps to come. Maybe Depth Knights is going to hunt down for that position once more, but currently right now, Flux is stuck in P1, just the position you want to be stuck in. You can see the McLaren getting a little bit too eager there to try and get past Weeksy, and Weeksy's able to prevent any overtaking chance from occurring. Well, there we go, and there's the move. James Kalako with the speed. It's just what he needed. It's just what he got. But it looked like it was just very slow for Weeksy. Maybe he did that on my. James Kalako absolutely flew through. I mean, I'm just watching it again on stream because there's a massive delay, of course. I'm just looking at it right now. Oh, it was Weeksy. Weeksy went into the wall. Weeksy into the wall. I think that might be a part of their front wing lost. Weeksy making huge mistakes early on in this Grand Prix. They slipped out into P8. Not what they need. Now this championship is getting a little bit safer for Aussie. Flux, though, sorry. That's not Flux, that is Flux. Flux, though, still in P1. He's 2.1 seconds to the good. And I think he'll stay that way for a few more laps now. I think Depth Knights is at the area where he needs to pit. Maybe lap 15/16. That's when he's going to pit. So very soon the pits will come in. And very soon we might see some overtaking in the pits. We might see some cold rubber starting to affect the drivers. So maybe a few more crashes, maybe a few more safety cars. We've only had one VSC actually. We've only had one VSC so far here in Singapore. So a clean race so far. And I think some more to come. But you can see the gap. It's just really not what these lads needed. here. If you want to get some overtakes here in Singapore, it is the hardest track to overtake on, and I think everyone can agree on that. An extremely hard track to overtake on. Extremely hard track to actually just get any pace on. So the person who's qualified P1 is probably going to stay in P1. And that's what Flux has done, to be honest. And he succeeded out of all the drivers so far. But with the upcoming laps to go, what drama is going to be stirred up next? Well, DRS is disabled. Is there rain? Is there rain? There's no rain. I think it was just Anthony going a bit slow, being a little bit stupid. Is there any rain? I think they just disable DRS if anything weird happens. But anyways, nevertheless, we will... No, it is rain! It's definitely rain! There is definitely rain! Here in Singapore, DRS disenabled. And the inters are going to be enabled. So there is definite rain. It didn't look like there was rain for a second. But it's clear as daylight. There is rain. Well, Flux and Depth Knights are definitely going to have to pit at the end of this. Otherwise, it's going to be very stupid from them if they don't. Singapore isn't necessarily known for its sunny skies. But it is very known for its crashes and for its entertainment. And that is what rain can provide us with. Week C still stuck into P7. The two Mercedes really need to get some points on the board compared to these Red Bulls and these actually Aston Martins. And yeah, Anthony's out. So there comes DJ. There comes Depth. There comes Aussie. Is Weeksy going to be ahead of Aussie because he actually pitted previously? I don't think he is. It's going to be very, very close though. No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is, to be honest. Oh! Front wing for Depth Knights. That's going to hold him up massively. And there's a safety car. Safety car's out. Safety car is out. What is going on? So a safety car is out. Aussie's P1. Depth Knights had wing damage. I don't think anybody saw that. Or at least I didn't. And is in P4. Callum is in P3. A strong showing from the Ferrari. But the safety car coming around the track now. Weeksy, this is the perfect opportunity to... What is Weeksy doing? Wing damage? If so... Wing damage for Weeksy. His race has just gone from bad to worse. 10th position, he really needs to climb up some positions, otherwise it's pretty much game, set and match for if he's going to be able to get this P1 in the standings for drivers. But yeah, Weeksy hasn't had a very good spell between the last two races, and well, this one's not going to be any better, to be honest. He's in P10. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to climb himself up the order. If he is going to be able to, then that is astonishing, but I don't think that's going to happen for Weeksy. I think he's just too far back to do anything, and I don't really think he's going to have a real effect on this race. Unless, of course, he crashes out himself, which is probably the most likely thing to happen, to be honest. No offence to Weeksy. But who has got the fastest lap, by the way? That would, of course, mean whoever is actually got the fastest lap, he'll probably keep it. And that's Swan Codfish. Not the person I was expecting to see there, but it's the one that we have given to. And Mr. Codfish has got the fastest lap in this Grand Prix, and I'm pretty sure it's going to stay that way. Considering the rain, if it is to continue this rain throughout the rest of this race, then of course a dry time is of course going to be the fastest time. So one Codfish with the fastest lap, and I'm pretty sure it's going to stay it's probably going to stay to the end of the race. That so safety car. We're just waiting for James Kalaka, Remix, Harry, Weeksy, James, Megan, Cyclone, and Quadfish. All those to just catch up, and we can go underway. Well, the two Red Bulls meeting each other here in P4, P5. Just hanging out with each other here. The They're searching for potentially some podium spots. The two teammates, if they are to collide with each other, would stir up some huge drama. I think Depth Knights is ahead of Ink in the championship standings. No, he's not actually. Ink is above Depth Knights. Depth Knights behind by, I think, just around 12 points. So only 12 points to the good. Ink is to Depth Knights. Would be good if Depth Knights is able to just close that gap down just a tiny bit more. So, DJ Flux, still P1, the Mercedes reigning supreme over any car on track. And speaking of the track, I'm going to tell you some facts about the Singapore track and what it has to offer here and why it's such a difficult track to overtake on. So I previously mentioned that it's located in Marina Bay, but also that it's got 23 turns. Wow. 23 turns around this historic track. First released in 2008. I mean, it sounds like it's not really historic if it's 2008, but still, we've had some entertaining stuff happen, not only in real life F1, but also in RWSRL. So many entertainment has been poured into the Singapore Grand Prix, and this one is next in line to give us some entertainment, which it already has done, to be fair. And speaking of the track, it's a 5.07 kilometre track. It is, well, it has got 3 DRS zone, and well, it is such a difficult track to try and get your actual lap times on. The average lap time is in real life, I think, about a 140, but 137 in game. So we're just awaiting Cyclone and Codfish. Then we can get kick-started here in Singapore once again. Come on, Codfish, mate. I mean, I'm not too sure what the safety car was about. By the way, if you want to predict what's going to happen by the end of this Singapore Grand Prix, then do leave them in the chat below, the Twitch chat. And I'm pretty sure these are uploaded onto YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, tell us what you predicted so far in this, and to the actual person who actually won the race, tell us if you A, predicted that, or B, if you didn't, why you think that happened, basically, or why you think something that happened in that race leading to that person winning was so crucial. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of stuff. If you want to do that, then you can throw it out there, but I'm not forcing you to. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. It's fair enough. But what we want to do and what we want to see here is this getting underway here. Just we're waiting on Codfish, patiently waiting on this one man. And I think the safety car will just lap him in a second. Uh-oh. Codfish, mate. How have you done that? Let's be honest. I don't know how you've managed to do that, but you have. Well done. So, Mr. Codfish here, trying to, of course, catch up to the safety car. Also, fun facts. I said this at the very start of the stream, and I'll say it again, because I've really got no more fun facts to give. This is the first ever track I had my commentary on. So, you know, this is a dear track. I hold it close to my heart. And eventually we're going to get this back underway here. The safety car coming in at the end of this lap. So Codfish not really being cared by the Aston Martin safety car, and to be honest, fair enough. As DJ Flux is going to lead the way to the finish line, into which we will finally get some overtaking experience. Here you can see just the rain droplets falling onto the onboard car. DJ Flux trying to slow the grid down, trying to dictate to where he wants to go, trying to manipulate the pace on each and every driver here. Well, except for Codfish, of course. You can see just how slow he's going. DJ Flux it. When's he gonna go? He's gone. So there we go, instantly off the start though. Ozzy's looking for the move, maybe into the first turn. No, he's not going to go for it. Inkstar's got the overtake. Maybe he's going to get down the inside by Chris Towns. No, it's not going to happen between the two. You can see Harry there getting very close to Weeksy up top. Looks to go round the outside there. I think he's going to lose position to James though. James on the inside, you can see two wide up top there with Weeksy and Remix. Remix coming down the inside there. You can see the Alpine looks to go on the inside. Is he going to get a double overtake with Harry and Weeksy here? He will into the next one though. Can he keep it? Is he going to keep it? No, he can't. The Williams blocks him off, and Weeksy's going to be able to get 2 positions up there. Chris Towns gets a position as well, and now you can see the Williams almost looking for a swing back maneuver there. He's not going to be able to do it. Inkstar and those two collide. 3 collisions in one corner. My oh my, what have I just seen? The Inkstar goes to 7th place. Depth Knights still in P4. Massive collision though with James Kalako and the Inkman himself, and there's another safety car out. Oh my word. My lord. What on earth? That was, I mean, the entertainment that we bought by Weeksy, James and Cyclone and Harry was just unbelievable. Like, Cyclone completely blocked off James for an overtake, which eventually didn't, well, eventually James got the overtake anyway, so it didn't really matter. But that block just completely opened the door for Weeksy to fly past, in which he did. And then, of course, I think it was Remix he was looking for a move. It was just so much going on. It's just things you want to see. Then we had that massive collision later on in the track. I mean, so much going on, sorry. I mean, when you have 3 wide in such a tight turn, it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to end up that way. But another safety car, another opportunity for Codfish to actually catch up this time. James in the pits, Ink in the pits. Okay. Why are these 2 in the pits? I'm pretty sure that's for the damage that they got from that collision. I'm pretty sure it's a front wing change for them. We'll see though. Maybe they're going on to some soft tyres, which would be stupid to do, to be honest. Full wets! Oh! Oh! You can see some other cars pitting as well. Harry's going for the full wets. Megan's going to go for the full wets. DJ Flux, is he going to look for a full wets? So the question is, what is the faster tyre around Singapore? Is it going to be the intermediates or the full wets? I told you the rain would bring us some drama. And it's put us on a silver platter for us to watch and enjoy. We're going to have to wait for every single other driver to get back towards the safety car here. But the question is Flux, Aussie, Callum going to go for the full wets? Or is it just a move that the people on the back of the grid are looking for or looking to do just to try and gamble for some positions up front? Weeksy didn't go on to the full wets. We know that. They went past James Kalaka. I thought it was mainly on damage that James Kalaka got from that collision. But apparently no. So, yeah, just you know, tyre change, and really it's going to be entertaining to see what tyre will come out on top. Is it intermediates or is it the full wets? But you can just see, look at how much of the wets, what would you call it, steam coming off of the tyres. I mean, that does probably indicate that it should be full wets. The rain still pouring down here in Singapore. I still don't know if DJ Flux is going to decide on the full wets. If he is, yet again, it's going to be a little bit of a bold maneuver. Maybe, you know, Jeff has told everybody to box in for those specific tyres. So, I'm going to be interested. I'm very invested to see what is going to happen. DJ Flux not in the pits. Ozzy's not into the pits. Nobody else is in the pits. So everybody's staying put on their compound tyres. Oh, it's definitely 4 wets needed. Oh, it is definitely 4 wets needed. Look at the puddle. That is... Oh, 4 wets are defo needed. Yeah, you might want to come in at the end of this lap. DJ, Aussie, Callum, so forth. You really need to come in. Because there are literal puddles on the track. Oh, my Lord. You can see it just there. Yes, 4 wets is... Literally, you need 4 wets. You need them. Perfect strategy performed by, I'll just call out James Kalako himself because he was the first man I saw actually go into the pits. So the strategy for James Kalako worked as it did for many others, including Megan and Harry. When you can see that Mercedes of Weeksy there just slipping on that turn, not even going fast at all. So imagine when you're actually going fast, these lads need to pit, otherwise it's game, set and match pretty much. So these guys predicted and said to themselves, you know what, I'm not pitting, but now I really need to pit at this end, at the end of this lap, sorry. The safety car, if it is going to come in at this lap, of course it's not going to be good for the lads who are going to have to pit. It was a very poor decision for the guys who decided not to pit, but now have to pit. So... yeah, these guys, the top gunners, I'm pretty sure just won't be able... just literally won't be able to keep up with the pace. And I'm pretty sure people like... I think Cyclone, is he on the 4 wets? No. James Kalako, James, Harry, Ink on the intermediate, so no. Remix, is Codfish on those compound tyres? I don't think he is. He is. So Codfish as well, and Megan. All of those, pretty much 8th and below, except for Ink, might just fly past the runners with enters here, and probably logically it would make the most sense. And it would make the most sense if these lads pit at the end of this lap for these wets. Oh my Lord, literally, he's not even going fast. Is he going to pit? He has to pit. They're not pitting. Oh God. Oh God. These guys are going to die. Now, these guys are going to, their cars are just going to wheelbarrow into some walls. You might as well go on softs. If you're going on inters, you might as well go soft. I mean, this is just... that is just ridiculous. You can see Juan and Ink going into the pits there. So, I'm pretty sure the safety car's going to come in at the end of this lap. Well, I hope they are going to anyways. But I don't know why you're not pitting for wets here. If you're DJ, if you're Aussie, if you're Callum, just come in at the end of this lap and just say, oh, what? Did you guys see that as well? Was that on stream? It looked like some blue code was on the screen there. Did you guys see that as well? What the heck? That was very weird. That was very weird. I'm trying to see it right now on the stream if I can actually see that again, because that was weird. No, yeah, you can literally see it. What? That was odd. That was very weird. Nevertheless, we are still trying and waiting and patiently looking at the safety car, and eventually it will come in. Harry with a 5-second time penalty with a severe collision on James. Needless time penalty, Harry. You really got to fix that type of stuff up. I mean, you have to go wets here. Full wets. I mean, just look at them, bro. Also, tyre wear, factor that in. Safety car in this lap. Expect GJ Flux, Aussie, Callan, Depth Mics to all just crash into a wall, ladies and gentlemen. Expect it and wait for it. That's all I can honestly say. DJ Flux still manoeuvring and still manipulating the pace. Megan with a 5-second time penalty. DJ Flux with none. You see him just dictating the pace. It's a real struggle for him. I mean, it's just these tyres are not going to last at all. I think what they're thinking is like it'll dry up somehow, which it definitely won't. I don't know why you wouldn't go wets. Oh, you can see Weeksy right there. Oh my. It's not even bad to worse. It's from worse to terrible to horrific. Is it going to be a horrific start for DJ Flux here? Here we go. We're away here in Singapore once again. We restart here. No one in the top flight has actually pitted for the wets. Into the first turn. What's going to happen? Are they going to spin? Or are they just going to keep it under control here? They just about are. Expect a lot of slippages around this track. Because these lads with Inter's not the right compound to be on at all. As Aussie could be looking for a move here. James Kalaka looking for a move on Cyclone, and Cyclone goes very slow on these Inters, and I think James Kalaka kind of showing off on those wets, getting the move done on Cyclone, and into the wall Cyclone goes! My oh my! Oh my words! That's got to be a safety car. How is that not a safety car? Oh my words! And now here's James Kalaka once again, striding and swiftly putting himself and darting himself up to P5. James P looking to follow suit, but Chris Towns able to defend it. Still, James round the outside. James goes now into that next turn, and James has got the overtake done and dusted on Chris Towns. And big touch of the tyres with Depth Knights and James Kalaka, and I think James P is going to capitalise on it. There goes James P, double overtake on the straight. I think James Kalaka was just looking to give the position back. Eventually he gave two back. Now looking for a switch back manoeuvre here on Depth Knights once more. He's going to be able to get it done and dusted. Here's James P. Aussie getting very close to DJ Flux at the top spot here. So much going on. Chris Downs with an overtake on Harry. Harry slipping down into P8. Still though, getting so close with each other, side by side, into the next one. Harry on the inside. You can see side by side James Kalako and Depth Knights once more. No, that's James Kalako and James actually. These two side by side. They're looking to gain some time to the top gunners up front, and they're just passing with each other, which of course is going to cost them time. And there we go. James P is able to keep the position, but the McLaren looking to go round the outside here. Now onto the straight. No, he can't keep it. But here's James P. Look at that on the inside, just literally flying past Callum. He's oh my, Mr. James Kalako. Mr. Kalako, what were you doing? Luckily, that wasn't catastrophic. But James's race, he still is getting the overtake on Aussie. Just look at that. It's so easy for the men in wets. And DJ Flux, I think, is just going to have to concede his P1. James P is going to claim P1 here in the Alpine, in the wets. And he's got it. Maybe down the inside, DJ will look to go. No, he's looking for a switchback, but I don't think he's got the pace to do that at all. He's just going to have to get the position up. Here's James Kalako down the inside of Mr. DJ Flux, and that move's done and dusted with. Who else has got the wet tyres on and trying to follow suit? There's Remix. He's trying to get the overtakes very soon here on Depth Knights and Callum on Depth Knights actually collide, which opens the door here for Remix. Is there going to be any overtake? No. But that just kind of proves that it really was needed, the wet tyres. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't necessarily actually go for that. Like, it's just, I think it's just a bit stupid, honestly, for the people up top. And by that, I mean the people who are P1, P2, P3. Well, the people who are P1 and P2 are actually people who are on wets. But what I meant by that was, you know, DJ Flux, Aussie, Callum, Depth Knights, those people just... It doesn't matter if you're like 11th, but if you still have wet on, then you'll pretty much just fly through the order. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't go for that. And now, Depth Knight is going to get into P7 here. Remix with the overtake. Down the inside he went. A little bit of a connection, just swiftly gracing the wall. But he's able to get the move done and dusted with. And Mr. Remix is up into P6 and now hunting down Callum. I mean, they must feel so slow right now, and rightfully so. Just Literally nothing happening on, and Depth Knight's slipping down. There, Weeksy down the inside. He's looking to go on Depth Knights, and well, he just lunged a little bit too deep there, Weeksy, but Weeksy's still looking for the move round the outside. Those two touching. Here comes Mega, maybe looking to capitalise on these two battling. They're still side by side. Going into the next turn here, Weeksy, he's going to be able to get the overtake, but Depth Knights with a switchback manoeuvre. Is he going to be able to do it? I don't think he will. The two men on the intermediates, are they going to be able to get the move done? Depth Knights, no! The switchback almost completed, just couldn't do it. Into the next one, though, he's going to break early. Megan could be looking for an opportunity here to get past. Are they going to get past? No, they won't. Into the next one, Weeksy still in P8, still not conceding up this P8 spot, and still ahead of Depth Knight. But here onto the straight, it could change very soon here. Depth Knight's looking for the overtake. Megan just staying behind. Here's Depth Knight. He's looking for it very soon here. Weeksy's all out of shit. Surely the overtake will come very soon for Mr. Knights. In one here, he's going to look for a switchback, isn't he? Of course he is. Of course he is. And he's got it done. Onto the straight, though. Has he got the speed on the straight? Is he going to be able to get it? You can see Megan just slipping behind. It's just these two battling now, really. Another switchback. Depth is going for onto the straight. Is he going to get it done and dusted with? I think he will. What a switchback manoeuvre from Depth Knight. Up into the P8 he goes. Weeksy has just been tossed and turned, and eventually he's been ploughed P9. James P is currently leading the Grand Prix. This is not what I would have expected going into this. I don't think anybody would expect this going into it. But it's just the people not on wets. Just why wouldn't you go on wets? It's just so stupid. Remix coming into the pits. Why is he coming into the pits? Intermediates. Oh. Maybe the Inter's coming back into play now. Maybe the Inters are just coming back into play now, but here's James Kalako. He's looking for the overtake on James P. For P1 here down the inside. The man in the McLaren goes up into P1. A clean sweep manoeuvre from James Kalako down the inside. No connection. A ton of room, space between these two. And now he's pulling away with P1. James P in P2. James Kalako in P1. Well, Aussie here trying to get the overtake on James. Sorry, no, DJ, not James. DJ looking to defend the position. I don't think he will, to be honest. I think Aussie, he's got the pace. The Inters, I assume, coming back into play. I mean, why else would Remix pit on the Inters if they're not coming into play? Can I see any more puddles coming across track here? Maybe, just maybe staying out on those Inters were just the right thing to do. I'm not really seeing any puddles. Not at least the ones that we saw in those formation laps. So yeah, I think it is back down into intermediate kind of grounds now. I don't think it's going to be actually for the full wets. I think they got it spot on, the men inside of the Inters. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any puddles, so I just think it was the smart thing to do for the lads staying out on the Inters, because now the top runners they are getting hunted down. They are really getting hunted down. And you can see DJ just in one turn gets 800 milliseconds up on James. Not Kalako, but James P. So DJ Flux now within DRS. It is definitely intermediate conditions. It was the smart thing to do to stay out on the Inters. And DJ is now going to try and hunt down back for P1. He's looking for his position back here. Now onto this straight. Surely he'll get the overtake on James. I don't think James is going to be able to keep DJ behind for long. Onto this straight now. Is he going to be able to get the move done and dusted? DJ looking to go around the outside. Actually, switchback maneuver though. And he touches the back end of the Alpine, and once more, another move where he breaks early. The Aston Martin of Aussie lurking behind. Maybe, just maybe something will occur between this two. Oh, something has occurred. Basically, a hit and run there from DJ, and now they collide even more. Chris Towns able to get the move done and dusted. Here's Callum though, he's looking for a move on DJ Flux. Ozzy's overtook him for P2 and now he's going to try and hunt down for P1. James Galacco, look behind you because Ozzy is coming. Depth Knights with an overtake on James P. Yep. Wet's definitely not the strongest tyre now, and I think James coming into the pits, he will be coming into those pits. And you can just see, I mean, just look at that. Just 1 second has just dropped between those two. James, of course, in the pits. The other James will be following suit. Will follow the steps. DJ Flux now trying to get his P2 back. Just recently got overtaken there by Ozzy. We were almost 3 wide with Callum, DJ and Ozzy. Would have been a sight to see. Could have been a here comes Sebastian Vettel moment, but unfortunately we weren't able to see one. Ozzy and DJ though battling it out for P1, P2 practically, because we know James Galacco, as much of a good driver as he is, and as much as he's better than me at this game, which is probably not an easy, well, it probably is a very, very easy thing to do. I don't think he's going to be able to defend against Ozzy. I just think the Inters are just going to reign supreme here across the track, and Megan with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. They haven't really had a good race, have they? And well, that just kind of shows it. I mean, it won't really affect their position. They would stay P8. But any move upwards field would make them drop down a position or two. But James Galacco still trying to keep this P1 as he's seeing Ozzy and DJ Flux trying to hunt down the McLaren. He is trying to just keep up here. It's kind of like a mouse trying to run away from a cat when the mouse has a broken leg. It just won't work out, I think. James Galacco now onto the straight. Sure, the overtake will come for Ozzy. Onto the straight here. Look at the speed Ozzy's got. Sure, the overtake will come. Down the inside, Ozzy's looking to go into the first turn. Is James Galacco going to be able to keep P1 here? He's looking to try and claim P1 back. I don't think he will. Onto the straight here, James Galacco. No, he's just going to have to stay behind. Really, we weren't expecting it, but in just such quick fashion, we weren't. So Ozzy up into P1, huge for the championship, of course, gapping himself from Weeksy. Here comes DJ Flux with an overtake on James. Surely that's going to be done and dusted with very soon, and it will be. I don't think James is going to look for the dive. He won't. And DJ Flux stays put into P2, but he's really got to try and hunt down for P1. That is his aim. That is what he wants. It's what he wants to get. And, well, I think he'll get it, to be honest. Callum with an overtake on James, and now you can see Chris Downs with a potential overtake on James. There we go. Just lunges down in there. Oh, big connection there with Depth Lights and James Galacco. They touch again and again. Almost again. Down the inside, Depth Lights goes. James Galacco touching. Look at that. Just, whoa. I mean, that is... I mean, he saw it coming, but my oh my, the amount of wheel touching there was too much. I mean, it's just James Galacco trying to hold on by a string here. Weeksy's looking for an overtake. He won't get it. Has to stay behind. He could now. Onto the straight. Is he going to get it? No. Weeksy, though, still looking for the overtake, and he'll get it very soon. Weeksy on the straight. They almost touch. They don't hit. Now onto the straight we go. On the inside, Weeksy could look to go. He's got to have to try and slow himself down. Now onto the straight. Oh, that was so close for touching tyres once more. James Galacco is like a lorry trying to defend against some supercars. It's really just not coming together. And Depth Match with a 3-second time penalty, by the way, for multiple warnings. So Chris Downs and them meet the same fate of penalties. James with an overtake on Megan. I think Megan's just coming into the pits. Yeah, for those inters. The inters are what they need. And DJ Flux is back into DRS range. Well, it's not going to be DRS, is it? Because it would just be ridiculous if they did have DRS on here. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Ink with a 3-second time penalty. DJ Flux is definitely quicker than Aussie so far. So is DJ going to be able to get the overtake on Aussie? We will have to see. The Merc trying to get the overtake on the Aston Martin for the lead here in the Singapore Grand Prix. Aussie, though, still keeping that P1. DJ Flux, though, very soon we might see some battling for the top position here on the grid. One of the things really necessarily going on in terms of battles, and now, you can see DJ Flux just really slowing down now. He was within 700 milliseconds now, only 900. Depth Knights and Chris Towns getting close to each other. Depth Knights has had some moments where he's been touching tyres with some other... Why on earth is Chris pitting? Does he have wing damage? If he has wing damage, then fair enough. But if he hasn't, then this is going to be a very interesting choice of what he's going to be putting on. I think it's just a new set of inters, to be honest. Softs? Softs? Chris Towns? DRS enabled! It's time for softs! Chris Towns with an astounding pit. Literally right on the buzzer, and it said DRS enabled. DJ Flux and Aussie, they'll have to pit soon. Maybe they will stay out and just have to battle it out with inters here, and maybe, just maybe, Chris Towns will just sneak into the positions of P1, P2 late on here. But late drama here in Singapore. Are they going to pit or are they not? Well, DJ Flux still getting close to Weeksy. Oh, sorry, no. Aussie, though. Speaking of Weeksy, though, they are P7. They will be trying to hunt down for the top positions, but I don't think they'll be able to get there. Just think it hasn't been a good showing from Weeksy at all in this Grand Prix. It's not been his finest specialty. It's not his finest area to go out onto. But nevertheless, he has to drive here. Well, he hasn't done a very good job at it. No offence, of course. But, you know, he knows I'm correct. But speaking of Weeksy, he does get an overtake on Remix, though, down the inside. Very tight corner there, so well done to him. But I don't think that any more overtakes are to come for him. See how fast Chris Towns is, though. Really, really fast. Okay, DJ Flux, Aussie, and Callum are pitting. Depth Knights says, nope, I'm staying out. Woohoo! The drama is really bubbling up here. Aussie, of course, having a better pit stop than DJ Flux, so DJ has to stay behind. But the question is the gap between Aussie and Depth Knights out of 3-second range? Chris Towns just overtaken there for P2, and he might just escape with 3 seconds. 19 seconds between Depth Knights and Chris Towns. Is that going to deteriorate to an enough to see that Chris Towns could be P1 here if he's able to get away from Aussie, his teammate? He, of course, has the more warmer rubber. He has the more warmer tyres. He might just do it. But Depth Knights, he still has the inters on. If he can just hold on for 3 laps. 3 laps, ladies and gentlemen. 17.4 seconds. He has to hold it on for 3 laps. And you might be thinking, well, that's just going to be easy to do, isn't it? It's not, because he's got inters on when really you should be having softs on. Maybe he'll come in at the end of this one, which I think would kind of be stupid to do. Probably just gamble, stay out, see if you can win the Grand Prix in this fashion. It would be an astounding way to win. We'll see if he can do it, though. Depth Knights. Is he going to come in? He's not. He's not. He is gambling. He is gambling. He's lost 3 seconds so far. But he would be on course to actually win the Grand Prix, because if you have 3 seconds more, then 3 seconds more, eventually it'll be 7 seconds, actually, at the end. So if he can just keep this pace up for 2 more laps, it's all it is. 2 more laps, and he will win the Singapore Grand Prix. Chris Downs, though, fastest lap. He's fastest on track. Never mind, it's going to be Megan, actually. Fastest on track there. Is he going to be able to hunt down this 3-second gap even more? Or is it just going to be enough for Depth Knights as we've got around 1 more lap to go? The 2 Aston Martins trying to hunt down this Red Bull. Can Depth Knights just hold on? DJ Flux with 3 seconds, so surely that's thrown him out of the picture for if he's going to get P1 or not. Remix trying to go for the overtake here on James Kalako. By the way, Red Bull are second in the championship, in the Constructors' Championship. So this would be quite huge for them if they could get the victory over Chris Towns and Aussie, of course. 1 lap is all it needs. Aussie with an overtake on his teammate now. Really no drama between the two, just literally letting the man go on. It's the smart thing to do. He just needs to build within a 3-second gap, Aussie. Then he's won the Singapore Grand Prix. But the question is, can Depth Knights, with his emphatic risk, can he just about do it? You can see that time, it's just deteriorating so much, though. I don't think he's going to be able to do it within... He's within 7 seconds now. I don't think he's going to be able to do it unless Aussie spins. I think Depth Knights just is going to have to say, oh, shucks. P1 is out the window. But it does look a tiny bit wet, doesn't it, on the track? But clearly it's not. Cyclone with a 3-second time penalty for severe collision with Harry. The speed of Aussie. Is it going to be enough? 2 seconds is all he needs to build it down to. 2 seconds is all that he needs to get. All that he needs to gain. And he will win the Singapore Grand Prix. Is he going to do it? Aussie. He's got 1 second to go. I think he's going to do it. He's within 3 seconds. He's within 3 seconds. It will have to be an absolute shambles if Aussie doesn't win this Singapore Grand Prix here in the night sky. I think the man who reigns supreme will be Aussie here, but we could be going 3 wide onto this next turn here with these 3. So much entertainment, though, at the last second overtakes. Who's going to get them? Callum would move up into P3 anyway, so it's not like he actually needs to overtake, but I think he'll try and look for it. But Aussie, an emphatic win for him today, as he will surely gap himself between Weeksy by an emphatic amount. Aussie comes home in P1 to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Late night drama, a late night win for Aussie. More points on the board for him, and more points towards a championship winner. Championship glory could be coming soon to Aussie if he can just keep this gap with Weeksy towards the end of this season. He will do it. Congratulations to Aussie for winning yet another Grand Prix. He adds to his tally of the most Grand Prix wins this season. Aussie P1, not only in the race, but also in the standings. The driver of the day goes to James P. We saw him earlier on when the wets were fastest. He went up into P1, then slipped down to P2, and then slipped all the way down into, I think, P8. But nevertheless, victory goes to the way of Aston Martin. As, by the way, that's huge also for the constructors. So, a really good day for both Aston Martin and for Aussie. It's just what Aussie needed, and it's what he got. Congratulations to him as he takes top spot of the podium in tonight's race. congratulations to all our drivers who came out towards top spots here in today's Grand Prix, and those drivers include Ozzy, who got a P1 in today's race, started P2 and got P1. A nice win for him. Callum in P2 started P7, ends in P2. An emphatic race for the Ferrari. Depth Knights went from P6 to P3. Some great racing from Depth Knights as he's able to put himself up towards the podium positions. Chris Downs in P4, DJ Flux P5, Weeksy P6, Megan P7, James Galacco P8, James P9, Remix P10, Ink P11, Cyclone P12, Harry P13, Codfish P14, Anthony P15. Thank you all to have watched this Grand Prix on Twitch or YouTube. I've been your host and commentator, Harrison Wilson. We'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.